All right, guys, thanks for showing up. Today is Thursday, January 24th, right? Yeah. And we have a special guest tonight, which is really exciting, Maggie. But really quick before we get into what she's going to talk about, I just wanted to do a little bit of recognition. Host, please. This always happens. The damn thing is on the viewer button. Okay, so we have changed 29 lives, which is pretty awesome so far this month. We have so many of you hitting Success Club this month, which is amazing. But let's start on the board with Jennifer. She has Tessie 4, Brittany with 4, Sierra with 2, Eileen with 2, and Nicole with 2. And then over on the Success Club side, shout out to Stacy. I think she just hit it yesterday or something like that. But I'm really proud of her. And Barbara, of course, so proud of you too. And Devin. And this is Barbara and Devin's first month, I believe. And they hit Success Club, so that's pretty awesome. And then myself with 12 and Tazy with 14. And then I just wanted to shout out Nicole as our coach of the week. I'm just really, really proud of her. She has, really been coming out of her shell, talking on her stories, and just really showing her personality, and it's pretty awesome. So I'm really proud of her. And she also just signed a coach that's going to be a business builder. So I'm really excited to see her take that leadership role as well. And then this thing, don't forget about the team cup. I'm not going to go through all this again, but if you don't have a team and you need help finding a team, let me know and I will help to pair you up. I'm pretty sure all of us are paired up by now, but just in case you haven't done that yet, just let me know and I will help you. And then one thing I noticed in the coach office, which I thought was really cool, if you go over to Team Beachbody Champions, they have a training on it. It's really cool. They're adding like a contact to your coach screen, like onto Beachbody On Demand when they log in on their computer. So when you're going into beachbodyondemand.com, like your face will pop up and it'll say like contact your coach, and you can put like your Facebook and Instagram and stuff like that. So people that have Beachbody On Demand that, maybe they were a customer lead or something, they'll be able to contact you that way, which is pretty cool. So if you don't have your picture or website set up, which I don't think I have mine, here's the steps on how to do it. If you go into your coach office, it's like the first announcement on there, but it's coach office, grow my business, and then my website /profile, and then edit site. I think that was it. Oh, and then don't forget the summit tickets are still on sale until the 31st. And there was one more thing. 1 second. I needed to X out of that really quick. I forgot to pull this up. Am I still sharing my screen? No, I stopped. Hold on. Okay. And moving on to Miss Maggie. So it's really funny because I'm just obsessed with her, and I just would always send her messages like, why are you so funny? And she one time wrote back, she's like, you really are my #1 fan, aren't you? And I'm like, wow, I must really seem like a stalker. I love her. She's so funny. If you don't follow her, make sure you follow her, because I literally look for her stories every day because she brings so much like joy and laughter, and just I love her random thoughts. They are amazing. But she's a lifetime diamond coach, a success starter, an SC5 all-star, and a social worker. When I asked her what she wanted to talk about and everything like that, and she had said she was in recovery from quitting, and I was like, oh, from quitting what? And she said, on me. And I was like, wow, that would really be awesome for you to talk about. So she has an amazing story. She's not shy about sharing her story. She's been through a lot of downs and a lot of ups, of course, but I'm just really, really excited for her to share with you guys. And Maggie, if you don't mind sharing a little snippet of your story too, I would love for them to hear it, and take it away.
Let me unmute myself. Can everybody hear me? Okay. Yes. Okay, cool. I don't have Wi-Fi. I live in the middle of the woods. I do have Wi-Fi, but it's awful. So I'm in the one room in my house where there's a signal. So if I start to cut out, just like give me a thumbs down or whatever. And also my little face light is dying. So now I just look like we're in this dark room. But thank you so much for the introduction. You're still my biggest fan. Like, I can't believe you just kind of remind me that people are really watching what we're doing. And it's just so nice to have that camaraderie among coaches. So I'm super flattered, so happy to be here. A little bit of backstory about me. I've been a coach for about a year. Actually, yeah, I just hit my year mark. And I came out of the gate really quick. But that was after waiting 4 years to actually start working the business. So if you don't know, or maybe if you do know Marie Sardelli, she was messaging me for 4 years, like, hey, join my team. And I'm like, who's this crazy teacher woman? I was that person that thought it was a scam. And then I watched Marie say that she retired from teaching. And then I was like, it's definitely a scam. This is a robot. But when I was finally ready to jump into coaching, I was probably at I wouldn't call it my lowest point, but my busiest point. So I was a full-time soldier in the Army National Guard. I was in grad school full-time for my master's. I was interning 20 hours a week, maintaining a relationship. I don't have kids, so for all the moms on here, I give you all the credit because I couldn't even imagine. But I was so busy, and it just kind of hit me like I'm not really doing anything for me. And so Delaney, I reached out to her because we went to school together, and I was like, all right, I don't care what it takes. Just teach me. I'm ready to jump in full force. So I did. And it was really awesome at first because, we all kind of get started and we're just like at this super high, like everybody just knows they're going to be amazing. All of our friends and family, there's no way that they're going to question what we're doing. They're just going to jump right on board with us and, want to just hit the ground running. And then we hit those first couple of obstacles and our confidence gets knocked down a couple of notches. And when I hit that first mark, so, I basically went from 0 to 100. I got to diamond in like 70 days, which was a real confidence booster for me. And then shortly after that, I hit 1-star qualifying. But within 3 days after that, one of my coaches just quit without telling me, and I went back down to Emerald, and I was crushed. That was the first time that I was like, I could see why people quit. Like, I put all this work into it, and it felt like I was patching these leaky holes in a ship that was sinking. I couldn't move fast enough to get my coaches building at the same rate that I was. And it kind of reminded me, like, it felt like all these other times in my life where I was just used to hitting something full force, like going at it with all my might, hitting some obstacles, and then just kind of walking away from it. Like, I got to that point where I went back down to Emerald and I was like, nah, I don't know if this is for me. And I reached out to Pat and I told him, I was, telling him about these struggles. And he was like, why are you so focused on what your rank is? Why are you so focused on these achievements when, that you're trying to develop leaders, you're trying to build a team that's going to last. And that's when I decided that I was going to fully go into recovery from quitting on myself. Because prior to this, everything that I had tried, I quit. I was never really into sports in high school because I wasn't good enough, so I would quit. I tried doing some like door-to-door sales back in the day and I quit. I tried other network marketing and I quit. But we don't give ourselves enough credit. And the really crazy thing and sad thing about humans is that when we get to that lower point where we're like, I'm ready to walk away from this, our brains start coming up with all these reasons to justify why we should quit, because that's a lot easier to do than to actually look inward and realize the hard work that we need to put into ourselves in order to get to the benchmark or the milestone that we're striving for. That has really defined my business for me, because now I understand the easy thing to do is to quit. The easy thing to do is to watch people like Kate Morgan or Ashley Feld Dyson or, like any of these top coaches. It's easy to look at them and say, all right, they've got the market covered. There's no way that I can do it as well. Because when we focus on other people, that justifies in our mind that it's not for us. But why do we do that to ourselves? Like, I'm just shocked at how how quickly we jump to this conclusion that we can just walk away from it. Think of all of the work that you have put into this business so far, whether you've been a coach for 3 days or 3 years, it doesn't matter. You put a lot of time and effort into the business that you're building. And I know that you do because you're here right now. Like, I can remember when I first started and I was watching Lindsay, and I didn't really hear too much about her because she was just like silently, in the corner, just like building this business to where now she's just like blowing up. And that is awesome. She wasn't looking for the recognition. She wasn't looking for that rank advancement. She was busy developing leaders, and here you are. Like, this is awesome. But I couldn't imagine, well, I guess I could. I guess that, she would quit if she just got to the point where she was like, yeah, I'm having a bad day. I don't feel like doing this anymore. We all have bad days. I have had people in my invites tell me some nasty things about myself that I didn't even know. Like, people are mean when they don't know you and they just feel like they can tell you whatever they want. But you are putting your heart and soul into this because you believe in what you stand for. You believe in what this company stands for. And that's powerful. And when you start to really harness that, that's what's going to get you through those tough days. And I'm assuming that everybody on here has had some tough days. And I realized in my first year of business, so 2018 was my first year, I was doing a lot of things on the side. Like, yeah, I was sending out invites randomly here and there, and I was posting consistently, but I was also traveling a lot. I was living my best life, and that showed in my business because I could tell that I was kind of doing the vitals here and there, but I was also focused on having fun, and that's fine, but my business reflected that. So I wasn't aware of it at first. So I just thought, oh, I'm not good enough at this. But in reality, I just wasn't doing the things that I needed to do every day. So, like I said, my motto at this point is just, instead of focusing on the outside factors that are causing you or causing your business to be a certain way, what can we do to look inside? And how can we benefit from not quitting on ourselves? Because when you get to that low point and you're like, yeah, I can't do this anymore. I can't afford another month of Shakeology. I can't keep up with everybody else. At that same exact moment, there are 1,000 other coaches thinking the same exact thing. And the difference is that they are actually going to quit. They are going to say, I'm done with this. I'm giving up on everything that I've built. Push through that point. It's kind of like we're digging this tunnel, trying to get to the other side, and we just can't seem to break through to the other side of this tunnel. And the moment that we say we're done is usually right when we're the closest to breaking through to the other side. But you won't know that if you quit. And like Pat says to me all the time, you will succeed as long as you just don't quit. You cannot fail as long as you don't quit. And that can be hard to justify to people in your life. If you're having a hard month, if you're not getting your Shakeology covered, if a coach quits when you really thought they were going to be the next rock star, that's okay. We can only control how we react to those situations. And in that moment, think about everything that you've done, everything that you've sacrificed, the time with your kids, the time with your family. Think about all of that. Is it worth throwing all of that away just to quit on yourself again? And the answer is probably not. So let's see. Lindsay, do you have like any questions or like anything that, I don't know, we could touch on a little bit more? Because that was like my thoughts for the day.
No, I seriously love that. And I think a lot of us needed to hear that because just like you said, it's human nature to quit. And I totally thought about quitting in the beginning 100%. And I remember exactly when it was. It was December. It was the holidays, and I had only been coaching for a few months, and I just felt like nobody wanted me to ask them if they wanted to join my challenge group. So I was like, stagnant. And then like a few months later, same thing. It was like, I don't know if I want to do this. Like, do I really want to put all this time and effort into this? I feel like I'm not really going anywhere. And then like all of a sudden it was just like boom, and I found a couple people that really wanted to do this with me. And it motivated me. And just kind of waiting for that moment is so important, because you can't expect to be full force 100% 24/7, because that's not human nature at all. But
Right.
I love how, I mean, I know you said Pat told you that, but I love you can't fail if you don't quit, because if you keep pushing forward, then you're going to eventually succeed. You just have to put the time and effort into it. Does anybody have any specific questions for Maggie? Anything like, even not pertaining to this, but like kind of how she, Amber said, I know I need to hear this, and I know a few others. Yeah, I mean, obviously we all feel that way. And I know, just specifically talking to my coaches before, it's been a battle, and you get unmotivated and you get remotivated, but the way that you can separate yourself from the others is just not quitting. How about like, how do you like kind of structure your day? I know you have a busy day too, on how you kind of manage your business and, work full time, and you're in the Army.
Yeah.
I mean, that's kind of, that's
so
kind of
I love listening to everybody else talk about how they manage their day, because I understand that even if my busy is not the same as your busy, we are still completely busy all the time. Everybody is busy, and everybody's going to say they're too busy to do anything like this. And that is completely false. But I've gone through some stages with how I ran my business. So when I first started, like I said, that was my busiest. So I was literally taking 10 minutes here and there. I would take my phone with me to the bathroom at work. Anytime that I could just send out a quick 10 invites, I would do it. At night, I would take like an hour or two, usually in between commercials, because I really didn't want to give up my time with my boyfriend. Like, I didn't get a lot of time with him. So at night when I was home, I wanted to be home, but I was also like, what we're doing right now, what I'm doing right now is going to set us up for the next 5 years. So yes, I can sacrifice a little bit of TV time if it means that we can build our dream cabin in Flagstaff, Arizona. But it really was, finding these pockets of time, but it was also about having fun with it. Like, I said, I've had a lot of hate from people that I've invited, and they will say the nastiest things, and they really think that I care. Like, they really think that they can get to me and that they can hurt my feelings. So what I started doing and how I started reframing it was, when I invite people, I just have fun with it. I completely have fun with it. I treat every invite as, how can I improve my objection game with this particular person? And that has taken it from being like a nerve-wracking, oh my God, what do I say, to let me see if this will work. Because when you're sending out all these invites, you're talking to all these people, you need to learn how to get better at what they're objecting to. And instead of being nervous, just go for it. Like, my newest coach, she has 28,000 followers on Instagram. And I reached out to her and I was like, this is going to be a joke, right? This girl's just going to laugh at me. And she started out by saying, F you, I don't want anything to do with you. And then she's like, all right, yeah, I think I'm ready to do this. And the whole time I was just like, yeah, that sounds good. No, I never said that before. So let me try that. Just have fun. Because if we take it too seriously, we're going to find every reason to just get down on ourselves and say, I'm not good enough at this. But when I was a full-time coach, so for a while I was unemployed, and as a full-time coach, I was doing it 4 or 5 hours a day, and I didn't have the same structure as when I was doing it part-time, with a full-time job. So take pride if you're a part-time coach and you only have certain times throughout the day, because that kind of forces you to be more in tune with what you're actually doing. Being full-time, I was like, am I doing enough? Should I be doing more, less? I don't know. But I really like the part-time aspect of it, because you get to focus more on the time that you're in. But I would say generally right now, total, I would say I take about an hour every day to invite, probably 40 minutes to follow up with people. And I try to do all of my postings on Saturday or Sunday. So like, I'll just sit down and actually write out posts for the week. I will find my inspiration for the week, and I'll just jot down little notes here and there. I'm a big fan of, when my hair and my makeup are right, putting on 10 different outfits and taking 10 different pictures so that we have them saved for later on, because nobody wants that anxiety. But yeah, I'm still like in the 2 to 3 hour range every day. It's just spaced out throughout the day. So that's about where I am right now. Oh, and just committing to like my own journey. So my lowest point in my business was when I said, I can do this without working out every day. I can do this without sticking to my meal plan. And I was trying to fool people and invite them to do it with me when I wasn't doing it myself. And even though I thought I could, pull one over on people, it just doesn't work like that. Like I needed to get to the point where I truly was involved and doing my workouts every day, drinking my shake, my meal plans. That was a big game changer for me, because we always have those points where we're like, nah, I don't need to work out today, but they don't need to know it. I could post an old workout video. Don't be that guy. Be so in love with it that it just makes it easy to talk about with everybody else.
Yeah, I think like when you try to, kind of fake something a little bit, it comes off not genuine and it comes off forced. And then it stresses you out more because you're trying to figure out, okay, how can I word this or whatever, because you're not really feeling it. And like Tazy said on here, I love her comebacks. And I was going to say that too, because I love when you get it. I almost hope that you get mean comments, honestly, because the things that you say back to them are always so good. I love them. They are super inspirational too, because the way that you can kind of tell somebody fuck you, but at the same time you're like saying it really nice, but in a way where, and I've seen, I don't know if was your new coach the one that you like totally told off, or was that a random girl?
No, that was a different girl who has disappeared since, but that happens a lot where they're just like, oh, I can't stand people like you. I love when they say that, people like you. People like me, there's 7.5 billion people on the planet, and you want to talk about people like me? What the hell does that even mean?
Right.
So, yeah.
Yeah, and the like thinking out posts for the week and like taking multiple pictures in different outfits, like that's actually really smart, because then you don't have to worry about every single day what you're going to post. And even if you just kind of map out your week, like, okay, Monday I'm going to talk about my shake, or Tuesday I'm going to talk about how my workout was hard, or whatever, like I like that a lot too. It kind of helps you keep organized, especially for really busy people.
For sure. And so, yeah, my Instagram, I'm glad you're saying you can't find me, because I try not to have my first and last name associated with my Instagram, but it's at Magalonius, Magalonius. I can put that in the chat. But yeah, make this easier for yourself. So like the things that we should be doing every day, such as posting, getting the vitals in, schedule all of that stuff as if it were a doctor appointment every day. Because once you get away from it for one day, that becomes 3 days, 3 days becomes a week, and now all of a sudden you're like, oh my God, I lost all my momentum, I have to start over. How many times are you going to keep doing that until you realize that does not work?
Right. And just like any job, if you have a responsibility, just kind of make it part of your responsibility. So if planning out your week of posts is going to keep you on track and, keep you posting every day and keep your content to a point where people want to pay attention to you and keep following you, then that's how you do it. I really, really like that. And I'm sometimes like, if I think of something, I'll like pop it in my notes in my phone really quick. But, I never really thought to like actually sit there and plan my whole week out like that and take different pictures and different outfits. It's really smart.
Yeah, for sure.
And one more question in here. Stacy asked, like, what keeps you going? What keeps you not quitting?
So I think I want to say that it's my why that keeps me going, but it really comes down to I want to prove to myself that this is real, that all of these other people that I'm watching do it, that I can do it the same way. And even if that means that I'm doing it differently, or maybe I'm doing it more slowly, I need to prove to myself that this is what I'm meant to be doing. And after the first year of business where I had to sit down and talk finances with my boyfriend, that terrified me. I suck at money. I suck at budgeting. I had no idea what I made in the first year until the very end of December. And then I realized wow, I made a decent amount of money for being part-time and really traveling a lot. But I also spent a lot of money. I love Shakeology. I love the programs, but it costs money, we have to invest in ourselves every single month. And I'm never going to throw that money away. I refuse to get to this point where I'm like, you know what, it was fun, but I'm just going to walk away. Yeah, it's been fun, but it's also been a lot of work. So when I get to those really low points, I'm really just reminding myself, there's somebody else thinking the same exact thing. The only difference between me and her is that I'm not going to walk away from it. And I've been in some low spots where like I needed to borrow money from my upline coach because I couldn't pay for my shakes for the month. Because I was unemployed. I had a bad month. Like it was just, everything came crashing down. And you know, that feeling where you just start like, you feel deflated, you know, like you're just a balloon that has been popped and you're like, there's no way that I can keep going. There's always a way to keep going. And there's always going to be people that are willing to help. And when you get to those really low points, it's easy. It's human nature to pull into ourselves. But instead of, you know, I really started to challenge that. And instead of pulling inward when I was at my lowest, that's when I reached out to other people because I needed people to show me that I had that support. You know, we're a really strong community. And if we don't let other people know that we're struggling, how can they ever help us? That doesn't mean that, you know, that doesn't mean that we have too much pride. That means that we're smart about taking care of ourselves, because we would absolutely do the same thing in a heartbeat for any of our other coaches that reached out to us. Why don't we deserve the same thing? So yeah, that's what keeps me going, is knowing that other people are quitting and I'm not quitting.
That's awesome. Seriously. And it's really nice to, you know, hear things, because I think a lot of times we won't admit to someone that, you know, hey, we had to borrow money for, you know, shakes for a month. And, you know, I'm sure that's happened to where, I mean, it's happened to me before too, because I'm not going to ask my husband for money for shakes. And there's been times where I'm like, oh shit, I got to scrape together like my last $5 for this, because he doesn't have anything to do with my business and we don't share an account. So I've definitely been there before, and it's crazy. Like you can absolutely feel like really discouraged from it. But thank you so much for sharing. Does anybody else have any questions before we hop off? Maggie, I know you said you're an old lady, so I don't want to keep you too late.
No, I'm fired up now. Keep asking questions, man. I'm ready to go.
No, that's so awesome. Obviously, you dive into your personal development because you have this awesome positive mindset. Is there any personal development that you recommend for anybody?
The 10 time rule and the Slight Edge will always be my favorite personal development books. Because I really believe in the power of pushing through and doing the little things every day that are really easy to do, but also really easy not to do. And most people go through life choosing the easy thing to not do, you know, and that's why most people are going to take forever to jump into this business, because it seems like this business is not easy, but it's simple. But until you can commit to yourself to do those simple things, you're not going to see the value. You're not going to want to do anything. But yeah, the 10 time rule, Slight Edge. I really like Build to Last by Keith Callahan. I just read that for the second time. Like there's a lot of information in there, and he is very like just to the point. And I say that with some hesitancy because I know sometimes I'll read something by somebody like him and I'm like, oh, I'll never get to that point. Like it's easy to be inspired, but it's also easy to be intimidated. So just let go of the intimidation. Like I'm sure the guy looks like Mr. Clean and he's making $100,000 every year with Beachbody. Like
I know, it's so crazy. What honestly, like, and he seems like the nicest person ever, but when I first saw him, he kind of looks like a pedophile, honestly. Like that, like I get that vibe from him for some reason. And like, and you go to his Instagram and he's got like 1,000 followers and he's making like crazy cash in this business. And I've been meaning to order that book. That's crazy that you've already read it twice, because it like just came out 2 weeks ago. Or did you get a copy ahead of time?
No, I ordered it. I think I ordered it like 2 days before he was on the team call, but I was just like, let me speed read through it first just to get like a sense. And then I went through and like actually highlighted it. But I love reading. So it's good.
That's on my list for sure. I have it on my list. So any other last minute questions for her? We're so excited you hopped on with us. Everybody is like trying to find your page. You apparently are hard to find, but Tazy went ahead and shared it in the comments, guys. So it'll be there. And I'll share it into our page too, just in case someone's watching the recording and you want to follow her. Thanks so much.
No problem.
Really quick. I don't know how to do it on my computer, but actually I'm going to do a boomerang. That's always easier. All right, I'll tell you guys when. All right, boomerang. Wait, I moved my phone. That was really bad. Okay, one more time. Ready? 1, 2, 3, boomerang. Perfect.
Oh, wait, I do have one more thing to say, just because I know that at first I was really terrified of social media and Instagram, and I was like, oh, I don't look as good as everybody else. Who cares? Please don't worry about if your pictures have the right lighting. I mean, yeah, the aesthetic is nice, but the message behind it is what your 5 leaders are reading. You know, like the masses are looking to see if you look pretty or if you have like this great transformation or whatever. Who cares? Like, post your real authentic self and share who you really are in your comments and in your stories, because that's what the people that are going to build this business with you, that's what they care about. Who cares about what the masses, you know, what they're watching or what they care about? Doesn't matter. Be who you really are, because that's who you're going to attract as, you know, those 5 people that are going to make this your 6-figure thing. Just don't be intimidated, because people are going to be nasty no matter what. So you might as well just be you.
That was a perfect closing statement, because a lot of girls on our team are kind of struggling with that social media aspect and, you know, really putting yourself out there. And it's hard. Like, I was the same exact way too, but exactly, the people that truly care are going to be reading every single word that you say or that you post, and they're going to be watching your videos every single day, and they're going to eventually join you. And that could be your next badass coach that you're waiting on. So true. So true. Social media, I mean, obviously social media is how you put yourself out there. That's how people connect with you. So like, you know, I would have, if Maggie didn't put her stories out there, I probably would have never, like, you know, really knew too much about her, because the stories are like, it's like a little reality show, but she is so funny, so funny. You're like the funniest person maybe I've ever listened to in my life. And I would have never known that if she didn't post her stories. Seriously, she has some random thoughts that are just so great. I love them. Any other last minute random thoughts you have before we click off of here? We've got like 5 minutes left, or 6 minutes. No, anyone? There's a couple more. Stacy said she was already following you. Whoops. I guess maybe you're not that exciting. I'm just kidding.
She's like, whatever, I don't know.
Tazy said, I love your onesies and your car chats. And Megan cracks you up, Stacy. I know. Megan, right here on our call, she's so funny too. I'm trying to force her to post more, because when she posts, like, I crack up every time too. And you hear that, Megan? Heard that? Yeah. All right, guys. Well, I hope you all have a wonderful night. Thanks again for hopping on, Maggie. We appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you so much. You guys are amazing. And I'll see you all at Summit.
Yes. All right. Bye, guys.